In our last investigation, we exposed how the government and the heating industry made free heat illegal. We showed you the rocket mass heater, a device that burns wood at 1,400 degrees with almost zero emissions. And we showed you how building codes were written to keep it out of your home. But heat is not the only thing they want you to pay for over and over again. Your dryer is the next target. Why have we gone from machines that lasted 30 years to machines that barely survived 3? In this investigation, we are going to expose the 4 engineering crimes hiding inside your dryer. We are going to look at the plastic slide scam, the one-time fuse trick, the circuit board invasion, and the lint fire gamble that has turned your dryer into the most expensive appliance you will ever throw away. Number 1 on the list, the 50-cent slide. If your dryer has started making a sound like metal grinding on metal, you are hearing the death of a part that costs less than a pack of gum. Inside every dryer, the drum sits on a set of small pads called drum glides. They are the contact point between the spinning drum and the front bulkhead. On an older machine, that contact surface was a hardened material designed to handle decades of friction. On a modern dryer, it is a piece of injection molded nylon the size of a domino. It costs the manufacturer less than 50 cents. It wears through in 3 to 5 years of normal use. When it does, the metal drum begins grinding directly against the front panel. That friction destroys the felt seal around the drum opening. Once the seal is gone, hot air leaks out of the drum and into the cabinet. Drying times double. The machine overheats. The thermal fuse blows. The dryer goes dark. You call a repair technician. He opens the machine, sees the damage, and tells you the repair will cost $247 in labor just to reach the part. The glide itself is $5.87 on any parts website, but by the time it has failed, it has already destroyed the seal, cooked the fuse, and worn the rollers. They engineered a $900 machine to die around a part that would not survive a $2 stress test. But the drum glide is just the first domino. The real trick is what happens after it falls. Number 2. The one-time fuse. There is a part inside your dryer the size of a paperclip that has the power to kill the entire machine. It is called the thermal fuse. It is designed to work exactly once. In the old days, dryers relied on cycling thermostats to manage heat. If the machine got too hot, the thermostat would trip, cut power to the heating element, and reset itself once the temperature dropped. It could do this thousands of times over the life of the machine. In the 1980s, the federal government mandated a new safety device to prevent dryer fires. That device was the thermal fuse. The idea was sound. If the dryer overheats beyond a critical limit, the fuse blows and shuts the machine down. But here is what they do not tell you. The thermal fuse cannot be reset. It is a one-time kill switch. Once it blows, the dryer is dead. No heat, no tumble, nothing. The fuse itself costs $7. You can buy one at any parts store, but the overwhelming majority of homeowners have never heard of this part. They press the start button, nothing happens, and they assume the motor failed or the computer fried. They spend $350 on a service call or $1,100 on a replacement. A $7 part that most people will never learn exists. That is not a safety feature. That is a business model. But even if your thermal fuse survives, there is another killer hiding behind your control panel. Number 3. The brain transplant. Your grandmother's dryer had a heat. She turned it to 60 minutes, pushed it in, and the machine ran. Behind that knob was a mechanical timer. It was a small motor that turned a set of brass cams that opened and closed simple switches. It controlled the heat, the tumble, and the cool-down cycle with nothing more than gears and contact points. No software, no updates, no internet connection. If it broke after 15 years, you pulled it out, bought it a universal replacement for $50, wired it in, and the dryer ran for another 15 years. That timer was not sensitive to power surges. It did not care about humidity. It could not be bricked by a firmware glitch. It was a mechanical heartbeat and it was nearly indestructible. Now look at what they replaced it with. Your modern dryer has a printed circuit board with microprocessors, capacitors, ribbon cables, and a touchpad interface. It is a computer, and where did the manufacturers decide to mount this delicate computer? Directly behind the control panel, inches from the exhaust path of a machine that generates 135 degrees of heat and blows moisture-laden air through its cabinet for hours every day. The thermal cycling cracks the solder joints on the board. The humidity corrodes the traces. A single power surge during a thunderstorm can fry the entire unit. The replacement board costs $200 to $400, and it is proprietary to your exact model number. For many dryers, the manufacturer discontinues the board within 5 to 7 years of the model's release. After that, your dryer is an orphan. They ripped out a $50 part that lasted a generation and replaced it with a $400 part that barely outlasts the warranty. That is not an upgrade. It is a countdown. And the most dangerous problem is not what they put inside the machine. It is what they made impossible to clean. Finally, number 4. The Lint Gamble. You clean your lint trap after every load. You think you are doing your part. But that screen only catches about 60 to 75% of the lint your dryer produces. The rest passes straight through and accumulates inside the blower housing, inside the exhaust duct, and inside the walls of your home. On an old dryer, the exhaust run was short and straight, 4 feet of rigid metal pipe out the back wall. You could disconnect it in 30 seconds and brush it clean. Modern dryers are installed in upstairs closets, stacked in tight alcoves, and vented through 20 feet of flexible duct with 3 or 4 90-degree bends. Lint settles in every turn. It packs in like insulation. Only 37% of homeowners clean their vents even once a year. 17% have never cleaned them at all. According to the United States Fire Administration, dryers cause approximately 15,600 structure fires every year in this country. Those fires kill roughly 15 people, injure 400 people, and cause over $100 million in property damage annually. The leading cause is lint buildup from failure to clean. They sell you a machine that fills your walls with kindling, hand you a lint screen, and never once mention that your dryer requires professional maintenance to not burn your house down. So what is the solution? If you have an old dryer in your garage with a mechanical timer and a steel drum, keep it running. Do not let anyone convince you that a new machine with a touch screen is an upgrade. It is not. It is a downgrade wrapped in stainless steel. If you have to buy new, look for the cheapest, dumbest model on the floor. No steam cycle, no Wi-Fi, no app connectivity. The fewer features it has, the fewer things will break. But here is the real answer. Learn to fix the machine yourself. The 3 parts that kill most dryers are the belt, the drum glides, and the thermal fuse. A belt costs $10. A pair of glides costs $5. A thermal fuse costs $7. That is $22 and 1 afternoon with a screwdriver. It will add 10 years to the machine. The corporations want you to see a dead dryer and reach for your wallet. They want you to believe the machine is too complex to understand. It is not. A dryer is a motor, a belt, a heating element, and a drum. That is it. The moment you learn to open the cabinet, you break the replacement cycle. Stop buying the touchscreen. Stop buying the steam. Buy the knob, buy the belt, and keep the machine that already works. If you want to know which other appliances have been destroyed by the same philosophy, subscribe to the channel.